Heath Ledger's overdose. Heath Ledger was an Australian actor who you guys probably know from the famous movie The Dark Knight. He played the role of Joker and he unfortunately passed away in 2008 from a medical overdose. Death of Brandon Lee in The Crow. Brandon Lee, the only son of Bruce Lee, had passed away while doing a scene in the movie The Crow. He got shot by a revolver that accidentally had a real bullet. He was then rushed to the hospital, but then Lee was confirmed dead on March 31st, 1993. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein is a movie producer of many successful and great movies, such as Django Unchained, The Hateful Eight, Kill Bill, and the classic movie franchise Scream. He was a convicted sex offender, and he was found guilty of rape and a sexual misconduct count involving an unknown woman and many actresses. He was then sentenced to 23 years in prison. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was a comedian actor who starred in many classic movies, such as The Cosby Show, Fat Albert, Little Bill. This man has made so many crimes. Long story short, he was a who sexually assaulted many women, including underage girls. On June 30, 2021, he was released from prison and still lives to this day. The Shining traumatized Shelley Duvall. Some of you, maybe all of you, know the classic movie The Shining. Shelley Duvall, the main female character that played Wendy Torrance. While filming this movie, she has stated that she was forced to cry 12 hours every day for weeks. Shelley then had severe dehydration and raw wounded hands. The Wizard of Oz. Now everyone remembers or at least heard of The Wizard of Oz. This show was meant to be for little kids enjoying their times on the TV, but the cast had to go in intense pain to film each show. There are many fatal accidents that happen, but some of the worst are: the character that played the Tin Man was hospitalized because of the powdered aluminium that was covering his face from the makeup. His lungs were severely damaged. Another fatal accident that happened to a stunt person, where she had to be raised up 10 or 15 feet off the ground to be able to film the broomsticks team. But that ended horribly wrong as an explosion happened which knocked the stunt person off and had bruised her leg so severely. Chris Farley died before finishing Shrek. Chris Farley was the voice actor behind Shrek. He tragically died from overdose before finishing the movie. On December 18, 1997, he was found dead in his apartment, and they said he was on a 4-day binge on alcohol and drugs. The Omen Curse. The Omen is a movie that is believed to be cursed because an interesting coincidence occurred, such as the set designer dying in the exact way he wanted a particular death scene that happened in the movie. Ooh, creepy. Anyway, next. Twilight Zone caused 3 deaths. In the movie Twilight Zone, Vic Morrow and the 2 children, ages 6 and 7, died in a fatal helicopter crash from a scene with special effects explosions. Those explosions caused the pilot to lose control of the helicopter and crash into those 3 victims.
Recorded on numerous cameras and shown repeatedly at the trial. As you watch it over and over.
Candyman's B scene. Tony Todd, that played in the B scene, used over 200,000 real honeybees. Tony wore only a protective mouthpiece. Although he was in danger from multiple bee stings, he negotiated a bonus of $1,000 for every bee stings, and he got stung 23 times. I mean, he got extra cash, so why not? Deadpool 2 stunt woman killed. This one was actually surprising to me because I'm a Marvel fan but never heard about this news. Apparently, a woman named Sequana Harris, who was a stunt woman playing as the character Domino, died from a stunt activity while filming a motorcycle stunt.
It's an accident.
It was just like a thud. She just disappeared underneath.
I just started shaking. I was scared.
We saw a couple, they come down the stairs twice, and the last one it went really quick and wobbled out. It looks like she just kind of hit the throttle because she went from 0 to really quick.
Officer, the ambulance coming.
She lost control, and it was so quick, it was so fast.
Poltergeist, real corpses. Nothing too special about this, but in the 1982 horror classic movie Poltergeist, they used real human skeletons as props. Noah's Ark flood scene. The flood scene that happened in the movie Noah's Ark wasn't all acting. It actually got 3 people killed and multiple people got harmed and injured. Bob Odenkirk's heart attack. Well, who doesn't know Saul Goodman, our favorite lawyer from the famous TV show Breaking Bad and its spin-off and prequel Better Call Saul? Bob Odenkirk is an American filmmaker and actor known for his biggest role, Saul Goodman, the criminal lawyer. Criminal lawyer. You get it? No?
Bruh.
Anyway, while shooting the last season of Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk had a heart attack which he describes with near fatal. Fortunately, the health safety supervisor by the name of Rose Estrada and Angie Mayer, the assistant director, administered CPR and hooked Odenkirk up to an automated defibrillator. It took 3 tries to get that rhythm back in his heart after 18 minutes, as Odenkirk previously explained. PCP, Clam Chowder, and Titanic. Now we all know how Titanic is a good classic movie filled with romance. But did you know that some of the crew members got drugged with PCP? And one stated that he wasn't okay, and another person started running and screaming and saying, quote unquote, "There is something in me, get it out." Shirley Temple. The famous actress Shirley Temple started her acting career in 1931 when she was only 3 years old. Despite the fact she was a famous actress in the late 30s, and from a young age her roles in the movies were as treated as an adult, the child star would exchange kisses for lollipops or even deliver lines such as "I'm expensive."
You like these pictures?
Do you know something? I long to hug and kiss you. Marry me and let me be your wife.
What's your real name? You like peppermint candy?
Mm-hmm.
Walk down to the corner with me and I'll buy you some.
Singing in the Rain, Footbleed. Debbie Reynolds was only 19 years old when she played the role of Kathy in Singing in the Rain. She had to learn how to dance for 8 hours a day for 2 months. While filming the Good Morning tap dance, she had to be carried to her dressing room because she burst a blood vessel in her foot and started bleeding. Exorcist Murderer. The movie The Exorcist is a classic horror 70s movie, but some of us don't know the true behind the scenes. A guy named Paul Bateson, who appeared in the movie as a role of a radiologic technologist who is now a convicted murderer of a journalist by the name of Addison Burrow. Paul was sentenced for 20 years in prison and he was released in 2003 with 5 years of parole. The Snow Buddy's Deaths. The Snow Buddy is a comedy movie about dogs. That has a gruesome and sad backstory. A total of 30 dogs were brought for the making of this movie, but 15 were removed off set because they showed sign of illness. 5 dogs died in total and 3 of them had to be euthanized. Back to the Future 2 and 3 Near Fatal Mistakes. In the movie franchise Back to the Future, there was many fatal accidents, but amongst them are in the part 2 and 3. In Back to the Future 2, a stunt performer suffered multiple injuries when they were filming the hoverboard scene. And in Back to the Future 3, Michael J. Fox, better known as Marty, accidentally got strangled in the scene of the hanging. He then lost consciousness for a bit, but fortunately he wasn't seriously injured. Vampire in Brooklyn, stunt woman killed. We gotta know from now, if Eddie Murphy is in a movie, it was meant to be funny. But not for the backstory of this movie. Apparently, Sonia Davis, a stunt performer who tragically dies while doing a 42-foot tall backward fall, which went horribly wrong, causing her death in 1994. Murder of Judith Barzey. Judith Barzey was a child actress who began her career at the age of 5 in the cast of Fatal Vision. She then appeared in successful movies such as Jaws: The Revenge. But that doesn't stop her from having a terrible life. Her father, Joseph Barzey, who casted a dark shadow on her childhood, abused both her and her mother, eventually killing the both of them, and killing himself by suicide. Gone with the Wind N-word script. I don't know why this was in the iceberg and how it reached down that deep, but since there's not a lot to talk about, long story short, they wanted to use the N-word in the movie Gone with the Wind, and then after further talking they refused to put it, and then removed it from the script. Mary Kay Bergman. So a woman who made our entire childhood more happy by the things we watched every day. Waiting in front of the TV each day to watch our favorite cartoons such as Scooby-Doo, South Park, Spider-Man, The Simpsons, and Toy Story 2. But not every story ends in a happy way. Mary Kay Bergman is a voice actress who voiced in a lot of successful animations, who is filled with joy and happiness and made millions of kids' childhood better. Unfortunately, she had committed suicide with a shotgun on November 11, 1999. The Passion of Christ torture. The Passion of Christ was made as a replica based on the life of Jesus to show the gruesome acts and violence that he went through. They tried to make this movie look so real to the point where the actor actually suffered some injuries, like when he held the cross that weighed 150 pounds, he experienced a shoulder separation, and he was accidentally whipped twice, which left huge marks on his back. Harry Potter stuntman paralyzed. During the filming of the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Harry Potter's stunt double was slammed so hard into the wall which eventually impacted on his neck, making him paralyzed. Roar. Roar is a 1981 comedy movie about a naturalist who lives on a nature preserve in Africa with lions, tigers, and other big cats. They used real lions while shooting the movie. Although no animals were harmed, 70 out of 140 crew members got seriously injured. The Expendables explosion accident. The Expendables, a movie about explosions, guns, and killing. Ironically, in the making of the Sylvester Stallone explosion scene, a stuntman died who was unknown and another who was critically injured and had to be rushed to the hospital. Cannonball Run stunt accident. Heidi Von Belz was a stuntwoman who was seriously injured during filming of Cannonball Run, when her car was struck by a van that made the wrong move, then later got paralyzed, which led to her death at the age of 59. Stuntman dies in XXX. Vin Diesel's stunt double in Triple X was killed on set while rappelling down a parasail line, and the director used the footage in the movie out of respect for the stuntman. Matthew Broderick car accident. On August 5, 1987, Matthew Broderick was driving with his girlfriend Jennifer Grey when he crossed into the wrong lane, crashing into a car, killing two women, Anna Gallagher and her mother Margaret Doherty. He was charged with causing death by dangerous driving and faced up to 5 years in prison. But what is shocking is that he was convicted in a lesser charge of careless driving and he was fined only $175. That 70s Show, Danny Masterson and Lisa Robin Kelly. The 70s Show is an American television sitcom show that aired in 1998. Two separate stories happen to two different cast members, Danny Masterson and Lisa Robin Kelly. So basically the first story is about Danny. He is accused of forcibly raping 3 women at his home in the Hollywood Hills from 2001 to 2003. In the other hand, we have Lisa. She had made many run-ins with the law and she was charged with drinking under the influence and abusing her ex-boyfriend. She then went into rehab and died a couple of days later. The examiner concluded that her death was due to an accidental unspecified oral multiple intoxication, whatever that is. James Cagney actually being shot. So I'm not sure what do they mean by being shot exactly, but what I found from my research is that while shooting a scene from the 1931 movie The Public Enemy, the effect of bullets steering away the wall was achieved by an actual machine gun shooting the wall. James Cagney was almost shot if he didn't move out of the way.
In the old days, they used real machine gun bullets in the scenes. The scene in Public Enemy when I ducked behind the stone wall, the machine gunner on a platform cut loose with the bullets and took the edge off the wall where I had been.
White Wilderness Lemming Suicide Hoax. So what exactly is a lemming? A lemming is a small animal known of killing itself. But anyway, what's the connection between the documentary White Wilderness and the lemmings? In the documentary, which is made by Disney, there's a scripted scene of the lemming suicide, in which they flung lemmings off the cliffs to their deaths in the ocean. The Right Stuff stuntman death. Another stuntman story. Joseph Svek, who was a stuntman in the movie The Right Stuff, was killed when he failed to open his parachute because he may have been unconscious from the smoke. Milo and Otis animal death. In the making of The Adventure of Milo and Otis, many animal cruelty allegations were made against the film, including the alleged killing of over 20 kittens, the director breaking a cat's paw, and a cat plunging over 100 feet off a cliff. Shark 1969 stuntmen killed. I don't know who made this iceberg and why it's filled with stuntman stories, but anyway, another stuntman dying. Jose Marco was killed on camera when a great white shark bit through a protective net and attacked him. Joe's son. Joseph Youngman's son, former actor, rapist, and murderer, best known for his role as the evil henchman in the film Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. He is currently serving 34 years to life at Wasco State Prison after being convicted of gang rape and the killing of his cellmate Michael Graham. That's it, bye.